Jamie takes a step back, then another, and another. As she backs away, she keeps her eyes squarely on the dumpster, just in case something leaps out of it. She's almost entirely certain that opening that thing would be a very bad idea. It could be a person in there, but she doubts it. Maybe they were human when they went in, but they probably aren't anymore. The only thing that's going to happen if she opens that up is that she's going to get eaten. The blonde swallows thickly, then she turns around and begins to move away at a brisk pace. She moves at a light jog as she makes her way through the alleyway, her eyes peeled just in case there's anything else lurking in the shadows around her. She's been through this alley dozens of times, maybe even hundreds. She knows it like the back of her hand, yet it's never felt as sinister as it does right now. Every shadow seems like it could hide some terrible horror. She feels like she could open any of the doors along the way and it would reveal some hellish nightmare. Her boots sound so loud as they pound against the concrete, and part of her is sure that it'll attract the attention of every monster within a mile. She makes sure to be very careful as she rounds the corners, peeking first, just to make sure that the coast is clear. Suddenly, she hears a moan from nearby, and the sound of it is like a blade of ice raking down her spine. The blonde quickly presses herself up against a nearby wall, doing her best to conceal herself. Her heart feels like it's trying to break its way out of her chest, and her stomach coils almost painfully. She takes some comfort in the feeling of the solid wall behind her and the protection it represents. Then she reaches the spot where the alleyway splits off in two different directions, and she sees what made that earlier noise. There's a figure standing in one of the branching paths, although she can't see it properly. It looks like a man, although he's cloaked in darkness and is little more than a silhouette, almost imperceptible against the shadows around him. However, she can see the way he sways slightly as he stands there, and she knows on some deep, instinctual level what that means. Wisely, she decides to take the other path. It'll take her a little longer to reach her destination, but it's definitely the safer option. As she goes, it takes a not inconsiderable amount of willpower on her part to keep herself from breaking into a run. It's like every instinct in her body is screaming at her to get out of there, but she doesn't want to just blunder blindly into danger either. On top of that, if she makes too much noise, she risks drawing unwanted attention. Fortunately, with the exception of that single figure, the alleyway proves to be remarkably clear. At the very least, she doesn't see anything along her path. As such, she makes it to the end of the alleyway very quickly. The street beyond the alleyway leads to the very street where Katie lives, which has always been pretty convenient, and is extra convenient right now. The blonde keeps her back against the wall, doing her best to remain concealed as she peeks out onto the street. What she sees makes her stomach sink. The street does appear to be clear for the most part, but that's not what draws her attention. No, what draws her attention is the row of terraced houses on the other side of the road, one of which is Katie's home. All of the houses are dark, not a single light in any of the windows, and all of the curtains are drawn, with one exception. The house in the middle of the row has its curtains drawn just like the others, but its front door is standing wide open, the light within spilling out onto the street. 1,000 thoughts run through Jamie's head as she wonders what happened. There's no chance Katie would have left the front door open like that, not with everything going on. Maybe there's been an accident, maybe she's been hurt. Jamie needs to get in there quick, just in case Katie needs help. However, on the heels of that thought, comes another. What if Katie's not even in there? What if she's been forced to flee the house? In that case, it's probably because the house is no longer safe, and if she goes in there, she'd be exposing herself to needless danger. Still, she can't leave without making sure, can she?